to get away from that device. Kaji, you're no more a monster than I am. Got it? You're the companion I've been looking for. I need your help.
Could I be inside Isa?
Kachi, can you hear me?
Isa!
This power, it's overwhelming. I feel it slipping into my soul. But as long as you're here, I can resist it. Thanks, Kachi.
This planet's final sunset is just over the horizon. Earth 4 will crumble before the might of the Nebulox. And Isa and the alien life form will perish along with it.
Come on, Kachi. Let's finish this.
There they are. Let's take them out. They're gonna destroy the whole planet. The Keepers, they're fighting back. Get ready, Kachi. We're going in.
Welcome back to Sin and Punishment Star Successor. I'm your host, DeoGenZ, and we're in space! Oh, space orb, space sphere would be proud. Space, space, space! But there's a bunch of space spheres, or blasters, whatever those flying things are, that make our entry into this quite hazardous. The best way to dodge them is keep Z dashing like a maniac, and you will go in between their firing. These orb shooters of pearly white light, bit more annoying and harder to defeat. The good thing about those flying green things, those flying booger shooters, is that you could take them down in one shot, so they're relatively harmless. Okay, what we gotta look out for is the giant laser beams. As always, I mean, when is a giant laser beam not an issue? I suppose it's when you're behind firing the giant laser beam. If you're the giant laser beam firee, it's probably fantastic for you. This is a sub-boss battle. It's not really a commander because it doesn't have any sort of life bar, but it does have many annoying attacks. It's based on this reflector system here. It fires a shot into one of the reflectors, and then the way that it shoots a beam is by firing it towards another reflector. So the idea here is to not be hit while you're in this circle and wait for your charge shot, because that's what's really effective at taking out these towers in one shot each, because there's different nodes upon it. So when you can, stay near the bottom of this circle, because that seems to be where the least amount of firing happens, and use your melee attack while you wait for your beam to charge to clear the pathway even more, because the less of these reflector things that there are, and yes, they get replaced, they all sort of zoom in and magnetize to this electric grid as you're not looking. So stay on top of them, but if you can limit the field of their presence, you won't have that much difficulty moving across and firing off what you need to get fired off. But really, the charge shot, it's the way to go here. Happens to be for a lot of battles, but in this one especially. I suppose while you're dodging around, if you didn't want to worry about pointing your reticle, you could use the A lock-on. but even then, I don't think it's that effective, and it'll happen that your charge beam powers up a lot faster than your single bullets can take out one of those orbs. Okay, so there's 2 left. Now there's just 1 left on the tower. And I guess it gave up. It was like, there's only 1 of me. I'll let him pass. No problems here. The mini green booger shooters will get him. Oh boy. That thing getting closer? Or am I just spinning and getting vertigo? Whoa. It's fire in a magnetic field. An electrostatic magnetic field, perhaps, because it's got electric bars running through it. So I guess this part of the level, it's kind of like dodging everything. Sort of like that helicopter game, except we've got a lot more control. Oh, and we've got to dodge these things, too. Great, so it's not just dodge the electric beams, but also dodge these shooting things. Whatever they are, needle-nosed missiles. Oh man, where's the end of this path? How far down the line do we have to go? I like the enhanced life bar that we got from fusing with Kachi, but still, if I keep running into these electric bars all this time, I'm gonna die. Oh, and this tunnel's making me dizzy. When are we out of here? Wait a second. Oh, I'm a bit stupid, ain't I? We're actually fighting a commander. I get it. His life bar was in the blue, and yeah, I'm an idiot. I can't believe I didn't see that commander text at the top of my field, probably because I'm getting nauseous from this spinning electric stuff. But we have a commander at the center of here producing this electro field. It's another part of the ship. We fought lava battleships, now we're fighting galactic spaceships. It's craziness in this game. Like I mentioned before, the commanders, the bosses, they are big and terrific. Very memorable. Oh man, that one. Jeez, that was hard to look at for too long. Sorry about that for your viewing eyes, that I couldn't have figured that out faster. But you have to attack the center, and those needle-nosed missile things are not just trying to block your path, they're actually extra ammo that you can deflect just like a missile towards the center of the ship. And it'll do a great amount of damage. Okay, enough of you green booger shooters. At least they make enough space for you to Z-dash back and forth on. But now we take on the bow cannon. The bow cannon. Maybe that's what it is, not the bow. No, I'm sure it's the bow. But this is, pretty similar to what we've been doing in space this whole entire time. Z-dash dodging. Well, with the exception of the reflector plates that we were fighting. That was more of a strategic match of using melee to eliminate things, but this part of the ship, you just have to keep on Z-dashing. Z-dash, Z-dash, and Z-dash, and try to not be in the area where those spherical balls of light appear. And they don't just stay there, as you can see, they're moving around as the bow cannon. No, I'm kidding, the bow. The bow cannon comes barreling down. But if we continue to keep our lock on target with the A button, it doesn't matter how much we move around the screen. Look at that, it's already going into the red. We will defeat this thing. Man, I could only imagine what that's like to be in that ship right now if you're the commander or captain of the ship. It's like, whoa, we're going sideways. Okay, now we're going upside down. And now you're gonna blow the fuck up. See, what I tell you, what I tell you. Do I know these bosses or do I know these bosses? I know them slightly.
Strike him down.
Ah, look who's back. It's the one whose blood boils. It's Ariana Shami. I was going to say Shami Ariana, but that's backwards. And she's got a bunch of new attacks here out in space because our battles are too epic to be had on Earth. Well, they're kind of in the process of trying to destroy Earth right now, and I don't know why. It's a nice place. Got a lot of nice things on it, some pretty interesting climates. Okay, the colder ones kind of suck, but they're cool too. Even so, why you gotta be destroying the Earth? Now, Ariana Shami, whatever her name is, hot-blooded bird bitch, that's what we'll call her, uses the asteroid mechanism like she did in her first fight, but instead of throwing a giant meteorite at you, she has them break up into tinier asteroids in space, and those make moving on the screen a lot more difficult. And I'm not certain if you can melee those away, but one nice thing about charge-shotting her to the face is just like in the first fight, it will disturb her attack. So if there's an attack coming up that you know is hard to dodge, and you think near impossible for your dodging capacities, maybe you want to save your charge shot for when she does that maneuver. Keep a lock on with the A button. You do not want to mess around in this fight while dodging, which you will have to do a considerable amount of, because she's got all kinds of firepower. As you see, she's got this slashing, hot-blooded, boiling kind of slash of dimensional fire that she does with her claws, and that is only dangerous if you're caught up directly in the center of it. But usually when you stay towards the edge of the screen like I did there, it's easier to dodge. Yeah, she is a crazy bird bitch, keep this in mind. She uses these birds again, but in a different way in space. Now instead of just sitting as a needle coming at us like a thrown dart in a bar that was stray and went into somebody's back instead of the target board, those birds are flapping now. And this is a more annoying attack that she has, where she runs these beams of electricity all over the screen, making our Z dashes have to be more direct, more specific to where we're getting in between these shots. Yep, almost didn't have my automatic A lock on, but it's still important here. So don't waste any time on those asteroids, because they're eventually going to break up into tiny, tiny, tiny little chunklet bits of asteroid, and it's not worth you wasting any of your firepower when you could be attacking this crazy bitch. She certainly doesn't stop her onslaught. She's still firing her beams at us. And if you just dodge between them, dodge between the rocks, and have your locked on A target, you should be good. And dodging that ice beam is a matter of not standing right in front of her, which we rarely do, so not much of a problem. How you like that, bird bitch? Blown up in space, you can't return. That's the rule.
Make him suffer.
Armand Bitter's back, everybody. Did you miss him? No, I didn't think you did. I certainly didn't in his multiple creepy goo forms. In space, his form is not bound to anything. He is now the sea. He does not need an ocean to emerge out of with creepy marine-like animal manifestations of bosses. Nope, now he's his own Loch Ness monster in his own self-created gravity goo planet. I guess this is why he's so bitter. All he can turn into is ugly, goo-shaped forms. And he's got eyeballs sticking out of there too. Don't focus too much on the eyes. They do make things melee if he ever tries to giga chomp you. They do make things difficult when it comes to doing a charge shot on his face. The eyes get in the way, kind of like a barrier. But single shots with a lock on of A is the way to go. And in this part of the fight, he tries to throw a bunch of space junk at you, which you can use melee against. The idea here is, of course, to go on the part of trash that is the smallest, or go completely all around it. Whatever formation of the junk works, because he won't spit out the same kind of pattern every single time. But while his fat face is exposed, ow, not enough melee there. Definitely use a charge shot. When he goes for chomping you, sometimes it can be difficult to predict when that will be. You can wage a lot of damage on him. And at this part of the fight, he gets a bit more selective. He understands that, oh, his mouth is a gigantic weak point, so he tries to keep it closed. When he is keeping it closed, you have to eliminate these laser eyes, which can be done simply with a charge shot, and then use your single shooter to get to his mouth while he's being finicky about opening it. At least he shows some defenses here. That last boss we fought, the Shami, she was vulnerable on every point. Oh, I can't believe I just wasted a charge shot like that. Oh, and you know, it takes quite a lot of regular ammo to take out one of these eyes, so be a better shot than I. And try not to miss. And if you want to be sure you won't miss the limited time while that guy's mouth is open, I definitely recommend locking on. Here we go again. Melee! Super damage. And a charge shot to the red. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, alright, this is another part of his fight. This is another form that he can do in his giant goo world, where he sends you to the other side of his Mario Galaxy-esque anti-gravity goo planet, and he has weeds coming at you. But they're weeds with thorns on them. They're wiggling around. They look like they want to destroy you, so you destroy them first, and they're not that hard to beat. You shall not eat me! Eat this! So those vines are not too hard to take care of, but just make sure you're circling all around, because they will be all around you on the planet. And good, he's in his most vulnerable phase. Not most vulnerable, but pretty easy, where he's keeping his mouth open the entire time. You done, son? With your creepy googly eyes and shit. We'll take on more bosses next episode.